Okay, we're live.
Hey everybody.
Hi, everyone. My name is Creator Solutions, and I'm here with Chanel's Reality. And today we're going to be talking about the Epstein Files and how young women are affected. And we're going to talk about some other things, such as Vlad TV and his confessions. It seems like in the celebrity world of gossip, lots of things are coming out. So we about to dive into it. I guess this is the year. Right? This is the year we're unveiling
Let's
secrets.
talk about it. Yeah.
But I'm gonna drop the intro. Okay. All right. So I wanted to talk about the Epstein Files. What do you think about the Epstein Files? I know it's been taking them so long to release the files.
I think it's interesting because why are y'all releasing why is this for public fodder is very interesting, but I am happy that they did. I just hate and don't understand why it's so redacted, why the public should know. Because to me, anybody in those files could be a potential health risk to us. You know what I mean? Or safety risk in general. So, and then what's wrong with exposing all of the pedo files that are out there in the world and the people that are associated with them? That's not to say that like everybody that's mentioned is guilty of anything. You know, you can't just put everybody guilty, but it does. I haven't read the files, but the things that I've seen, I'm just kind of like, why are you redacting the names from the senders of people who are emailing Jeffrey Epstein or that Gaylon lady, who are emailing her saying things like, and I'm paraphrasing, but things like, there's a new um, um, Brazilian one, a female in from wherever, right? And then she's 9 years old. Like, why is the person who's sending this email to Jeffrey Epstein about this 9 year old, why are they redacted? I need to know who the hell this person is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a safety concern. And how are you getting this 9 year old here? Like, it's just real sick, shit. So like, the part that I don't understand, if you're gonna release this information, then I think you need to release it in a respectful, dignified way. I don't think you should have the victims' names there, but I definitely think you need to have everyone's name who's in correspondence with these files so that they can say why the hell their name or email is associated with it. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, people will fill in the blank with the worst scenario.
Mm.
If you can't tell me, Jay Z, why your name appears, why somebody's mentioning you, why whatever, 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 Bill Clinton, whoever else, then you're suspect, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But so when you release 3 million data points and you redact it, and then you say to the Congress, "Oh, Congress, y'all can have access." Now check this out. So they gave what is she called? The Attorney General, that Liddy lady or Libo lady, whatever her name is. She said, "Oh, Congress, we're going to allow you access, and you can see the redacted names and whatever, right? You can see the redacted names and whatever, right? And you spy on those people. So the way she got caught is because a photographer she lifted up a paper or something, and it showed all the names of the people that she was like looking at. So the Congress, even they were being spied on who they were looking at, so that people like her could prepare for this, Senate hearing type thing. So it's all shady and convoluted, and we're never going to know the full truth. But I'm just like, if we're going to put this shit out here, we need context, and we need, clarification of how to read into this stuff. You know what I mean? But what it seems like the biggest deal is a lot of the elites, rich, wealthy people, specifically men, are entangled in this.
Yeah. And the number one is the president.
Okay. Yeah. And then he didn't even want to release it. And his name, somebody, I was listening to the Senate hearing, and Donald Trump's name is redacted more times allegedly than Jesus' name or the God's name is in the Bible. Exactly. Yeah, your cat, he's having a whole.
You see them, right? Yeah. They bad over here. you they are bad.
I can hear
the whole house, and then they come right here, right here.
No, I fully understand. My dog is soon like I swear he's a child. He's not worried about anything I'm doing until I'm doing something. If I'm on the phone talking, then it's he needs me to. I can't, because I'm just like, you wasn't doing anything. Now you need to talk to me, like, I can't.
Right? I mean, shout out the peoples in the chat. What's up,
hey, everybody?
What's up? I don't know what this is. P-Dot.
He's like,
what's up? What's up, Huscular Muscular?
Hey, Huscular Muscular, come up and let us know what you think about the Epstein Files.
What's up, Elijah? They said they've been doing this since the dawn of time.
I agree.
It's such a shame. And you know what? They was trying. You know who's the number one person that was all over it? Was Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah. Listen.
And then they tried to get Hillary Clinton to come up and testify.
She probably was on it too. Listen. I am not a conspiracy theorist. Let me say that again. I am not a conspiracy theorist. However, when you start pulling on that thread just a little bit, and you see these people that are connected, like a lot of people don't want to believe Jay-Z, I guess, because he's a billionaire and he's the baddest bitch. But they don't want to believe it because he got the Hova song or whatever. I don't give a shit about none of that. What is humanity? What have you done for humanity? That's the kind of stuff I care about. I don't care about all your wealth. I don't care about all your cars and your whatever. Yes, that's an accomplishment. I'm not knocking you. But when you have friends or people you're closely aligned to, and 5 of them are all convicted of sex crimes, things like rape and stuff like that, I'm not saying that you're one of those people. I'm saying you're closely aligned to people like that. R. Kelly, you went on a whole ass world tour with his ass, right?
Mm.
You had Weinstein telling the press, leave him alone, that's my friend, blah blah blah. Diddy.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get these cats out this room because they
doing the most. Yeah,
they doing the most. But you could go ahead.
I still talk to the people. Yeah, and you got Diddy is your whole ass best friend for seemingly 10 plus years, probably longer, and now he in prison for the same thing. You got, I'm trying to think, and then Epstein was convicted, or not convicted. Let me not say that. He was accused and imprisoned for those same type of crimes or similar. I'm trying to think of who the other person was. Those are obviously not all your friends. Jay-Z, come to the front. Those are obviously not all your friends, and I'm not saying that they are, but I am saying you like them young too. Now let's have a whole ass conversation about that. How old was Aaliyah when you was trying to get at her? 15? 16? How old was Beyonce? You swear to God, y'all both say, oh, I didn't meet Jay until I was 18. We started dating when I was 19. Lies. How do I know? All you gotta do is go on the internet. You go on the internet, you see pictures of Jay-Z with Destiny's Child. When Beyonce first started out, her group was called Destiny's Child. Beyonce is the same age as me, or she might be a year younger than me. I remember the Writings on the Wall CD. I love it. It's a banger. But be clear, they were on tour. Beyonce's 15, 16. You have a picture with them. So this whole nonsense about, oh, I didn't even meet her until she was 17, 18, you lying. Stop lying. So if you'll lie about that, what they say? If you'll lie, you'll steal. If you'll steal, you can. Let's just keep it a buck. And that's all I'm saying. I ain't saying this man is guilty, but he's guilty of being adjacent to shit that makes you seem guilty. Like 5 of your friends being pedos. Like you doing a whole double album with R. Kelly, who you know was having sex with a 12-year-old Aaliyah. And your bestie, your business partner, Rockefeller, whatever, he was dating her.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck do you then go and do a whatever album with this dude that you know he's a pedo? Like, what are you doing? So even if, like I said, even if there isn't anything on paper that says you're legally guilty of anything, it's just crazy to me that you're so adjacent to people who have fundamental issues, in my opinion, with having sex with young girls. And the whole world knows you was messing around with Foxy Brown. We all know. Nas said it
Mm.
in Ether. He said, so you thought you was whatever because Foxy, because you kept her facing her puss. You're facing her puss. You think you getting girls now because of your looks? Negro, please. That's what Nas said. He's supposed to be the greatest New York rapper, right? But at the end of the day, your name, like I'm gonna say this because I want to say allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. Everything on Chanel's reality is alleged. Right?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So we don't have any proof. We wasn't there. Not me, not creative. We wasn't there. We don't know none of these people. Okay, we wasn't there. But what I am saying is you start pulling at the strings of these people, these wealthy people, they start bumping into all these other people who have nefarious backgrounds. So I I have to agree that you was messing with some young girls, and so therefore your name being the Epstein Files or being associated with it in any capacity, it just doesn't look good, Jay. So that's my opinion about him per se. I don't know if that man's guilty, but he just ran with a whole bunch of people that have been convicted of those type of things, and that's just and he could come out and say, "I ain't in them files. I ain't do shit." But he ain't gonna do it. He gonna let Beyonce go on her third Renaissance tour and distract people. That's what's gonna happen. But anyway, what you think? What's your opinion?
So I think what they said, so I was watching the Senate and watching the whole debacle, and then
Mm-hmm.
they was trying to vote and do a whole bunch of stuff. Like, we need these files out right now.
Mm-hmm.
They was trying to do. And we need Hillary Clinton to answer for her crimes. If she not gonna answer, she gotta answer for something because you the wife. What you mean you don't know?
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna say that, we're gonna say Beyonce too.
Beyond yes.
Because whenever it was dropped or said or mentioned that he was in the files, everybody, I follow her on Instagram, but I don't really watch like whatever she's doing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know when I woke up the next day after he was mentioned, allegedly she lost like 10 million followers or something like that. So in her chat was eating her up. Girl, we know he guilty. You need to leave him. When you gonna divorce him? And what you gonna say now? We know your husband's guilty of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Beyonce, girl, blink twice if you need us to get you out.
Right?
But I don't think that Beyonce's a fool. I think that she comes from the same background. She actually comes from the same city that I live in, right? I think she comes from the same Southern background of you stand by your man. You know what I mean? Uh,
Oh gosh.
no, I'm just being honest. And it don't even have to really be Southern. It's just that's what they tell women. It's a psychological dumb move. But you stand by your man. And I also think that allegedly there's $1 billion on the elevator. And he's heavily entangled in her how she makes her money. He gets paid off of her. You know what I mean? And the bigger thing outside of money is that they have kids. At the end of the day, money or not, rich or not, famous or not, you really probably do want your children to grow up with their father. I just think that's a fact in general, if you can. Even if the father's an asshole, a lot of times women will stay around because they want their kids to have, that. family unit. So I think those are just some small reasons why Beyonce ain't leaving.
Mm.
She not leaving, Jay. What she said, you gonna give her your VVS songs? I ain't doing that. That's what she said. And
Oh yeah,
Beyonce's gonna talk to us about her problems through her music.
she does. Or
She
she
ain't
was
gonna say
making a
shit
whole
out
bunch
loud,
of
but
songs.
yeah. So she
Yeah.
gonna be talking about Jay-Z going down. You know what I'm
And
saying?
she's still gonna be with him. And it's just like,
It's a fact. It's a fact.
But it's a little bit sad because do you think she was groomed? I think she was a
A
little bit
thousand
groomed.
percent. I think this, and I did not want to think this for the longest time. I think that Beyonce was, I think her family got paid. Like her dad, because her dad was the one that, raised up Destiny's Child and then Beyonce. I think Jay-Z, Rock Nation, whoever the people were
Hmm.
that she got transferred over to, there was a payment, like a buyout. And so that's why I think a lot of people for so many years are like, this is a business deal. This is not a real marriage or whatever. I think that's what they mean by that. Because like I said, he gets paid off of her. When do you see Jay-Z out here touring? Like,
No,
you know what I'm
not
saying?
really.
And that's how you make your money. It is not off of album sales.
Yeah, because nobody's selling albums anymore.
Nobody. You can't sell albums in a Beyonce and Rihanna world. It's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? You have to be new and popping, and even then, you need a lot of push. You need a lot of promo. You need a lot of things, right? And then you got to pay half the money back or 75% of it. He's not in the business of that. Jay wants to make money while he sleep, which is smart, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's why he has a liquor brand and all that kind of stuff. But he not, or deals with the NFL. And he can't make money going. If he went on tour, he would make money. Let me not lie. But he 50 something years old. He ain't like Beyonce. Beyonce could be on the stage at 72, still singing like Aretha Franklin. Like, you
She's
know what I
still
mean?
dancing like she's 20, right?
Let's keep it a buck. Yeah.
She's still getting it.
But he gonna be, nah, I'm whole. He not, at 62, he can't do that, sis. You know what I mean? So he has to make his money other ways. So I think that Beyonce is the moneymaker. I always felt like, even before I knew any of the stuff that I know now, I always felt like she's gonna out she's way more profitable
Yeah, she
and
is.
marketable than he is. She's gorgeous. She has a Coca-Cola shaped body. You know what I'm saying? She has stamina. She understands how to sing. She can sell out a stadium. She got money to make. And what he does is he says, I'm gonna get some of these royalties off of maybe writing a little, off of having, like doing like a duo, whatever. And usually those songs do really well. So it's a good duo ever since Bonnie and Clyde, Hove and B. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
a good duo, but I do think he manipulates her because he does not let her speak. When the last time you heard Beyonce speak?
She doesn't speak, but now, but people are judgmental also. So
That's
I,
not why
I
Beyonce
could,
doesn't
I could see
speak.
that.
If you
Look
go
how,
and
hold
if
on,
you
look how they judge Aisha Curry. Every time she says something,
those are just
they drag her for filth. Like,
those are just haters, and you're right. But Aisha doesn't have a job in a main sense like Beyonce does.
mhm.
Beyonce has to go out there and get it out the mud like she does. She can be
No,
creative,
I
and
understand that, but people are harsh, so that's why I think
that's
she
not why.
doesn't.
Okay, that's right. Okay, but I don't think that. This is what I think.
Go
I
ahead.
think they are two people. I think they're super private, but I think Jay's privacy is less about who he is and more about manipulation. And the reason I say that is, if you don't say shit, and if you notice, they don't ever say shit. The first time we heard them say shit was when, what's that lady's name? Oh God, what is her name? Um,
Look, he's saying Miss J is a huge income earner. I highly doubt that.
who is Miss J?
He's talking about Jay-Z.
You ain't right. I'm not saying he doesn't have income.
We not saying that. We say majority of the income coming in is from Beyonce.
It's a fact.
Let's just let's
He
just
has
be real.
Yeah, he has income that he's getting off of her. Let's start there, because like I said, they're
Hmm.
engrossed in business. And but then he has income, like he has that Auberon, whatever that cognac is. He has that 40 whatever club. He has different streams of income. I'm not knocking that he has multiple streams of income. He does. I'm saying his ability to make the type of money Beyonce makes from a tour, it's a different level of money. It just is what it is. She making like 50, 60, 70 million dollars a year going on tour. I can promise you, his alcohol, he ain't bringing in no $100 million.
No, you're
He
right
just
about
he not. But no, the reason that I say, oh, what was her name? Jaguar Wright.
Hey, Miss Candy
Hey,
Cane.
Candy Cane. When Jaguar Wright went on Piers Morgan and was like dragging Jay-Z, he had to respond. That was the first time I've seen them respond about any fucking thing. And they still didn't say it on camera.
Hold on. Do you know any artists that Jay-Z has right now that he's promoted? I
No. He has Megan Thee
don't.
Stallion.
The last person I knew was Rihanna. That was
Yeah, and she unfollowed him. Okay, let's be clear. So did Kelly Rowland. That tells you something. These are people who are solidly connected to Beyonce and solidly connected to Jay-Z,
whatever,
and they
guys.
unfollowed her. I mean, unfollowed him. Kelly is Beyonce's like sister, like they came up together, right? Rihanna is a powerhouse, but Rihanna
Rihanna's
saw the
by
writings on the wall.
herself. I love Rihanna. I don't care what nobody says. She's
I love her too. She a badass.
living a true, authentic self.
But
I love
here's the thing. Rihanna read the room and she said, I'm getting the fuck out. Like, period. She
it.
read the
Yes.
room. She said, I'm getting the fuck out because I don't want to be on tour forever like Beyonce. Because Beyonce, she changing the game. She went to country. She gonna probably do a rock album, whatever, right? She is elevating, and I ain't mad at that. But with that comes to make that money that she's making, it comes with a whole bunch of performing. It comes with a whole bunch of outfit changes, a whole bunch of,
Time away from your kids, all of that.
yes,
You gotta
it takes,
practice.
yeah, it takes from you. And she's
Yeah.
talented and she can do it and probably loves it. But when do you get to sit down? So I loved when Rihanna said, now I'm about to go over here and make Fenty and Savage Beauty and whatever else that she went over there and made. And now
Hmm.
she a billionaire too. And she ain't
Yeah.
got to do shit. She got her people out here, the sexy savages or whatever she calls them. Look, Rihanna,
I'm
put that,
loving
call
it.
me Rihanna, sexy savages, call me. I know how to market, just saying. No, but like, she said, I want to make money while I'm asleep because selling the records, she's one of the people that's had like 14 number one hits. So she killing the game. She's done that. She don't have to do that no more. And she's only what, 35 or something like that. I don't even think she's that old. She probably like
No, she's like,
32.
I think she's like 36 or somewhere around there.
Alexa, how old is Rihanna? 37. She's 37. So
She's 37.
she's like, she's younger. She's younger than me. But she got her kids now. I don't know what the fuck she doing with A$AP Rocky or whatever. I don't even know him. But
I mean,
she had her kids, and I ain't mad at her. Go sit down
you
and
can't
do
get
whatever.
back. She went after somebody who she liked and who she had in common with, and I guess who she
He
loved.
must be. He must. Because I did not understand that. I was like,
I
who's
know,
the
because they
person?
both okay. So I think they both from West Indian backgrounds, so they had
Oh,
that in common. He's also from New York City. I think she's from Barbados or whatnot.
she
But I
is.
think they just vibe together. When you put the looks on the scale. What do you think? You was like, no. I think A$AP Rocky is pretty cute.
I can't. I almost said
Maybe
live. Not gonna say it. I
when
almost.
she when she was talking to him, because they've been talking for a while now, and they've been flirting.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
they
Okay.
was flirting for a long time before
She
they started
also was
talking.
flirting with Drake.
Yeah. But
I
look, but
definitely
Drake,
thought
that let you
I
know,
wanted
look,
her and
Drake
Drake
ain't
to be
shit
together.
because he didn't even get a chance to bag her. So
I wanted her and Drake to go make babies.
you wanted them to?
Mm-hmm. That
No.
video, work. I was like, that shit is a fucking turn on. I had to go find my husband.
You was
Girl. Okay. But yeah, so I'm like, yeah, Drake can get it. But I don't think that would have worked out because
I
Drake
don't
likes,
find Drake attractive, but okay.
yeah, you have different tastes and it's okay.
I find A$AP Rocky
I
attractive.
know. That's why I said you have different tastes. But I don't think Drake isn't a turn on in the traditional way because I don't even like light skinned men. Like I've never dated a light skinned man. Shout out to the light skinned man.
I don't find him attractive at all. The fact that he has like a did you know he had a baby mom? His baby mama was a porn star,
Mm-hmm. I didn't know
right?
that. So when I found that out, I was like, "Oh, that's not a good look." You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then he messing with Sexy Red.
I don't know who that is.
Sexy Red.
Mm-mm. Who is that? Is she
Sexy
a
Red.
rapper? What is she?
Yeah.
Oh,
She'd be saying my booty hole brown and all that stuff.
why?
She she came out with a makeup thing talking about some gonorrhea is this color. Yeah,
I
and they market it. People, I don't.
don't know. I think Drake probably. I wouldn't have sex with him because he probably a burner. You know what I mean? He probably burning allegedly. I don't know
I
Drake.
don't know.
I
To
wouldn't have.
me, that just he has no standards whatsoever for life. So
But this is what I think though, and I hear you 1,000%. I do still find him
mhm,
attractive, but
I don't.
I think this. I think he came into this game, rap game, in
Hmm.
his 20s. Like, what was he, 23, 24, however old he was.
He was always rich, Chanel. He used to be on Degrassi.
I know. I remember.
You
I
watched
did, and
Degrassi? I used
no,
to watch
no, I
Degrassi.
didn't. No, I didn't. My friend tricked me. We went to the beach one night, and so Galveston is like 2 hours from Houston, or like an hour and a
Hmm.
half, or whatever. So she was like, "I want you to listen to this CD." She's such a valley girl, but anyway, so she made me listen to "Thank Me Later," that album,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Yo!" I went about the album after that because I liked it, and so from there. I always liked his albums. I always felt like he was like a conversational like type rapper, and I was into it. And he could sing, so he's like multi-talented. So it was a turn on. I liked Drake. But I think he was young and with money and semi good looks because you like, no, I ain't turned on by him. But I think he's attractive enough, right? So when you have that and you're a young man and you have a whole bunch of fucking money, what do you
Hmm.
expect them to do? And men, even without a whole bunch of sex appeal, a
You're
whole bunch of
right.
fame
You're
and
right.
money,
That's why
they
I was.
still do this shit. So
You're
at least
100% right. Because I was like, if most people had money, they would blow it on girls and drugs
he just needs to fucking
and
grow up.
just buying
That's it.
buying cars. That's what people will blow it on. So it's probably a good thing that you don't have all that money. Because you
Right.
would be right, because you'll be a detriment to yourself. You're a detriment walking.
Mhm.
That's why,
My
you know
husband,
what? And I
my
was
husband,
looking at that. That's why people who win the lottery, most of them be in their 50s, 40s, a little bit older.
and then they spend it all.
No, not most, some of them,
Most
most
of
of
them
them.
do. Go look it up.
Some of them, some.
Because they end up, want to buy their family, everybody a house, everybody a car,
Yeah,
everybody.
you are. You can't be doing that. Not
But
everybody's supposed to be up there with you.
correct. But so anyway, I don't necessarily judge him for that. Do I think it's the right thing to do? When I found out about the porn star baby and all that, I was like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? And then you still haven't like
But
really
no, Chanel,
spent
Chanel,
time
he
with the
came from a
baby.
good household. If he came from like a fucked up household, and
It don't matter. How many so did Paris Hilton and she got a sex tape.
you're right, you're right.
So it doesn't matter. It's who you are. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
when
who
you're
you are.
young, just like when Paris Hilton made her sex tape, I'm pretty sure she was probably 19, 20, somewhere between 19 and 23.
Yeah, you're
You're
right.
doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? And so, but at any rate, I don't give a shit about none of these people because cry me a river. You got millions of dollars. You can go sit on the island and invite 15 women and do whatever the hell you want. You know what I'm saying? And they'll come. So I don't know why you have to be sleazy about it. So I don't respect the fact that from what the girl was saying, he doesn't really help out with the baby at all. I think that's shady. So I'm like, you don't deserve a good, wholesome girl, Drake. Come to the front. But I still think he's sexy.
I
Let's be
don't
real.
think he's sexy at all. But
Yes, you
anyway,
do. Sometimes you, but we're gonna let you make it. Because I'm like,
that shit. I'm sorry.
where is Husky and Muscular? When he's supposed to join this so he could talk to us about but he don't want to come up here. You're not being brave today? Is he still in the chat or he left?
I don't know where he's at.
Did we scare you off, Mr. Muscular?
You want to address it. But nah, but the Epstein Files is on 10. Like
Who's on 10?
the, hmm?
Who's on 10?
I said the Epstein Files is on
Oh
10.
yeah. Okay, so let's get back to it.
Yeah, because it's like they said there's a whole bunch of senators, there's like a whole bunch of people who up there, they was at the island. They said it was lots of people at the island. So yeah, so the Epstein Files was on 10, and I was just like, wow. And I'm still waiting. I don't know if they did they get a word from Hillary Clinton yet. I'm still waiting for them. They're supposed
Girl,
to bring
Hillary
her
ain't
in.
about to address them people.
You think she not?
Why would she address them? It's probably something. Okay, unless she was involved in some
She has
capacity.
to.
Hold on. Unless she's involved in some capacity with the trafficking of these girls
Mm-hmm.
or sexual in some sort of sexual deviancy with these girls, then why are we talking about Hillary? Now, is Hillary a saint? Absolutely not. But it's the same reason why I never understood why they crucified this lady because her husband had an affair.
Yeah,
The
that's
fuck?
true.
Like, why am I this horrible person because I want to keep my family together? Which I don't. I'm not mad at her for staying, but I'm not mad.
No,
I
there's
don't
a
know that that
problem with that because if you knew what he was doing, then you're just as
which part,
liable.
the Epstein part.
Well, if she didn't know, then then that's her case. She don't have nothing to
But
do with
that's
it.
my point. It doesn't matter. They're gonna lump her in because people have hated her because of what the fuck he did for what a
Yeah,
good
people
30
did hate
years
her for
now.
what she did. Yeah.
She didn't do shit. She's not the one, having sex with the intern. He was like, I don't understand.
Facts and got caught with it.
Yes.
Talk about it.
So I, now this is the thing that I will say. I definitely think Hillary and Bill are involved in all kinds of above below board activities. I'm
Mm.
just not going to pin her to the wall because of some sexual deviancies her husband was involved in, unless she knowingly, like, let's say, got an email, got some sort of file, somebody actually has proof that she was notified. then
Yeah.
then you have the duty to report, ma'am. You were
Yeah, I can see
the
that.
Secretary of
But the
Defense.
thing is, if you don't have nothing to hide, why didn't you come forth and say something?
What do you mean?
When it first went down and they was asking to bring her in.
I think this. If I don't have nothing to hide, I've watched enough First 48, enough 48 hours investigates, enough 2020 to know I'm not going to volunteer anything to the police. Period. I ain't volunteering shit. Because, right? They said you have the right to remain silent. And this is what they do. This is how they use that shit against you. They'll say, well, if the husband didn't kill her, then why didn't he come? Why wouldn't he, blah, 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 blah with the police? Why did he lawyer up? Because anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. It's just a fact. So
Yeah,
you could be innocent of everything. And the moment you come and give their ass a timeline, they locking your ass into some shit. They
yeah.
can't wait to pick your story apart. So that's my reason why I ain't talking to the police without an
Oh,
attorney.
I was seeing that, and then I seen them question about the Epstein on how he committed suicide. They don't think he committed suicide. Well, we
Nobody.
all know it is conspiracy theory. They probably had to shut him up because he probably knew a lot, and he knew a lot of
That
people.
man, that man, this is what I believe. I believe he was a high level, um,
I was
highly
going to say masonry.
manipulative.
He's probably a mason.
Because I don't know if I think I told you about Sloan Bella before, but I was watching her talk about Epstein, his energy. And this
Hmm.
is what she said. She said that the guy he was in the cell with, I guess his cellmate, Sally or whatever, she said Epstein was a very dark energy, like demonic. And I believe that. She said that Epstein was no longer, whoever the spirit of Epstein was no longer in his body. He was like, had other entities had taken over. And she said,
Damn.
whatever the cellmate saw scared the shit out of him. So he was like, I'm I'm out. Like, put me in another cell. Like, I don't want no parts. You know what I'm saying? So I think he probably saw something demonic. And when she started talking about that, I viewed it differently because not that she's wrong or right or whatever, but I was like, oh, and because I couldn't understand, like I was putting two and two together when I watched the documentary some years ago about what he was up to, because I never heard of this man. And then when he got the guy that owned, I think either the Limited or Express or both, when he got this man that was like worth like $300 million to sign
Mm.
over his money to him while he's still alive, I was like, what? Where they do that at? Like,
Yeah.
meaning he didn't come from money. A lot of times, if you don't come from that circle, you can't get in that circle. So my assessment of what I saw was you. were sexually active with this man. You did whatever his sexual desires were, much like Diddy and Clive Davis. Just my opinion, allegedly. So I think that's how you got him to sign away all his money. So then when he shows up in New York or whatever, he's just this man that's wealthy. And I think a lot of people in those like secret societies, what I mean by secret society, not like we sitting around praying together, not like that, more like you got to pay to play. We don't go to the club. We bring the drugs and the alcohol and the girls to our mansion type thing. That's why he had Epstein Island. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
like I think he was a mysterious, we don't kind of know where he gets all his money from, but he seems to know all of the people who are wealthy. So I think he is a higher level of like what Diddy was doing, but
Yeah.
probably less brutal by manipulation, meaning like, oh, you come to my island, you're a young girl, you're in your 20s. I'm going to ask you about yourself and what you want to do and get to know you. Listening
Or
with
he might
intent.
bribe them with money because he actually had the money to give. Not saying that he did.
I don't think he bribed them with money. And what I
He
mean by
did.
that,
He bribed the girls with like, I know I could get you this type of contract in the modeling world because, you know,
right. But that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. What I'm saying is like he starts with the manipulation of, hi, creative. What have you, what's your plans? What are your futures like? And endearing you, but he's really like a Pied Piper. I'm listening
yeah,
to everything, your dreams, your goals, your whatever. And then, and you think nothing of it. And then late in the night, you get a knock at the door. Hey, creative, Mr. Epstein's ready for his massage. What? What you mean?
what are we,
what?
what are we doing?
What?
What are we
I
doing?
ain't doing that, sis. I ain't come here for that. You know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah,
you really need to do it. And then you feel trapped because you are, in a way, trapped. You on a fucking island. Who come to get you? You can only leave here by boat or air. So you see what I'm saying? And so
yeah,
then, or once he's had you do this thing that you weren't expecting to do, now you feel guilty. Now you feel this self-loathing. Now you feel disgusted that you did whatever. You watched him come by, you rubbing him, whatever, and now you're all disgusted. But then he calls you 4 months later, and you not taking his calls because you are not dealing with this man, and blah 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 blah. And he says, "Hey, I have an opportunity. I know the head of whatever at Ford Models, and she wants to see you. If you're trying to be a top model, guess what the fuck you want to do? Go have a meeting with the head lady at the Ford Models. It's one of the
hmm
four most lucrative, you know
yeah,
what I mean? So yeah, you was all disgusted with him, but now, like you said, it's a super opportunity. And then you go meet with her. She thinks he's this great person. So you just join in. Yeah. And you really don't, it's hard to push it away. But to me, that's why I say I believe Sloan Bella when she was like, he has there's a dark energy there because all of it's a manipulation. I don't think I do think anybody above the age of 18 was probably there because they wanted to be on some level.
yeah.
That's not to say they weren't manipulated at all, but wanted to be there in some level. But he wasn't into that. He was into the 14, 11-year old. You know what I'm saying? He's into the young girls, like
So
barely
let's get
getting.
into that. So why do you think he mostly wanted to talk to the young girls?
I don't think he wanted to talk to them. I think he wanted to sexually misuse them.
No, I understand that, but like, what do you think he's getting from that? Like, I think you think it's a
It's
sense of
power.
control and power.
Yes, sexual assault is always about power and control.
Hmm
Because you could have sex with anybody, right? If you're handsome enough. Listen, ugly people make babies every day. Okay,
Talk
so
about it, right?
you could get sex. Anybody could get sex with somebody, right? So it isn't about that. So if I come in your house and I violate you, I'm doing it because of the power and the control. So I think he got off on this. Is just my opinion. I don't know this man. I wasn't there, but I do think he got off on the power to play um like the savior. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm giving you this $400. I'm giving you this $5,000. Like I know one of the girls, he was like helping her to like he was like, I'm gonna pay for all your schooling. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
heard
saying?
that one too. Yeah.
So I, as a grown person who I am now, I obviously could never see a situation where I'd be like, I'm gonna give you my body for money.
hmm
I'd rather just get it out of the mud, but that's just me. And everybody's not in that situation. And again, He starts out as this great guy who's going to help you out, but then he wants his massage. So if you're okay with being grimy and maybe you don't have to have sex with them, then you just rubbing them a little bit, go get it. But the problem that I had with him, because I don't have a problem with, listen, have sex with whoever wants to have sex with you. I only have a problem when you go and get young girls to do it, and then you go and take the young girls and tell them to go get other young girls, and you know what you're bringing them to. Meaning
Yeah.
they know what they're bringing you to. And because they're bringing you, they'll get an extra $500. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think I think some of these guys get a kick out of it, like kick out of women doing things that they don't want to do that
That's right.
go against their moral standard.
Correct.
I think that turns them on the best because it's like I got her to not
Yeah.
stick to her what she wanted to go
Morals.
against herself, go against her morals,
And
and they get
now,
turned on by that.
right. And now I have you in this kind of weird spot. Think about Cassie. A lot of people are like,
Mhm.
oh, she wanted to be there. She, whatever. Shut the hell up. At the end of the day, Cassie was in a relationship when she met Diddy. He knew she's this young, beautiful, talented singer, whatever the case may be. She wants to, go get it. And at the time, Diddy's that guy. You know what I'm saying? He
He
can sign
was, yeah.
you, he can whatever. So first I'm gonna take you from your guy. Even though you don't even like me. You ain't even attracted to me. But I'm gonna take you from that guy. I'm gonna wine you, dine you, send you Louis Vuitton, Chanel, whatever, right? I'm gonna show you this glamorous lifestyle. I'm gonna sign you
Mhm.
10 deals. Oh, that's the greatest thing. No, who he must believe in me if he signed me to a 10 album deal. No, he's signing you to this so he can lock you in. You can't ever move. You can't ever go away. You don't realize that because you're 19. You know what I'm saying? He
Mhm.
liked, in my opinion, Diddy liked that he could see that this guy was already with her. I'm gonna take your lady. I'm gonna take her career. I'm gonna sign her. I'm gonna do all of this, and then I'm gonna beat the snot out of her, but then make her up, and then she could be my Barbie doll on the red carpet. He liked that control, and I think what happened was he realized that as long as I get receipts on the debauchery you're taking part in, I'm gonna humiliate you. That's why if it's so any women in the chat or listen to this later, whatever you've done, however much of a hoe you quote unquote have been, let them niggas know. Yep, I was hoeing. Sure was. I was busting it wide open. And you remove that power. Cassie didn't want, because Diddy had all that power, she didn't want to be humiliated. So she gonna stay. Cause I got you on tape. I'm gonna send it to all your friends. You know what I mean? So how do you leave something like that? You know what I mean? And she's just a high level, money type situation. It's a whole bunch of girls that are not high level and they wasn't living some glamorous lifestyle. Let's be clear. They're getting sexually assaulted right on in the dark depths of the ghetto.
Exactly. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. So even though this is going on with Epstein Files, what about stuff that's going on in people's homes?
Yeah, that's usually what's happening. People that get done bad, physically harmed, whatever, it's typically by people they know. So whether it's the Epstein type situations, if they end up unalived, you usually get unalived by people you know. It ain't the creepy, what do you call it? The creepy man from up the street, stranger, you know, transient man, trucker. It's not them. Mm-mm. He say Trump called the cops on Epstein in 2006. Trump locked up Epstein 2019. Trump didn't do that, but okay. Trump released the files in 2025. All Democrats did was get money from Epstein PDF Island. So you don't
Dude,
think
if you don't go somewhere,
you don't think Trump was at Epstein Island? He wasn't getting his little pecker pickled.
they got pictures
Of
of
course he
him
was.
standing next to Epstein.
Trump, even if we didn't have an Epstein file, didn't he wasn't he in the back of a bus talking about you can grab him by the puss as long as you're a celebrity? Shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up. This is what this dumb asshole said out of his mouth. Yeah, I said
Hmm.
it. Come get me. And I ain't saying allegedly. This is what this man
And the
said out
same,
of his
some of
mouth.
the dumbass women talking about some, you could grab me by mine.
Right. Just like some of the women, it's like, listen, I'll do it for Diddy. It's just like you're so stupid. But anyway, um, it's a lot of people. Let me say it like this: there's a lot of men probably in that file, and there's probably some women in those files. But the debauchery of men with younger girls, That shit has been going on since the beginning of time. Women have been objectified since the beginning of time. Women have been sexually whatever since the beginning of time. They weren't. You remember why do we need to make a law that says you can't marry somebody that's
Mm.
underage? Like, you know what I'm
Right?
saying? If this shit isn't a problem. They make laws about social problems, right? Poverty, mental health, you know what I'm saying? Crime. You only make laws when there's a social problem.
I think
So,
people need to understand that some of these laws was made in blood.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what? The majority of people who commit sexual assault are men. Come at me. I don't care. Quote me. It's just a
That's
fact.
the truth.
It's just a
Even though
fact.
they don't like to hear it, but
Right. Women are not. Listen, I've always made this argument. If I, let's say I'm wrong, who's taking their child to a male run daycare? Y'all know some? Raise your hand. Nobody. Why? We can't trust men with baby. Like, it's just a fact. Who wants to take their child to a male run school and let all their little girls go there? Nobody.
facts.
Cause it's a problem. But I'll read this. Let's see. What does it say? There's a difference between being morally corrupt person versus doing illegal. How come Congress hasn't been able to push indictment against Trump? Because they don't have the proofs yet. They got proof. You can have all the proof in the world. If people don't want something to happen, it ain't gonna happen. When I say
Facts.
that, I'm talking about people with power. Oh Lord, here come my cousin talking about that. Cuz I need your help with my YouTube channel.
Some could be morally corrupt men, but from a legal standpoint, you need proof.
Listen, Trump has been impeached twice. So
Yeah, he has, yeah.
by by legal standards, he's been impeached. So he's a criminal. He is a felon. So I'm not really sure where people get this whole, oh, it's a moral problem, not a legal problem. No, it's a fucking legal problem. It's a legal problem that you were friends with Epstein. It's a legal problem that you running around years ago talking about, I can grab him by the pussy. That's a problem. And the fact that people want to excuse it away because, oh, well, that's a moral problem. Morally, you shouldn't want men to be dating or having sex with 13-year-olds morally. And guess what? If we take morally out of it, legally, that shit is wrong. This man that you're defending about his not legal versus legal,
Yeah.
he said out of his mouth that his daughter is a fine piece of ass, and if he wasn't blah blah blah, that's what he said. Quote me. So when you're talking about and referring to your own daughter that came from your seed sexually, and she got a whole ass husband, I don't care if you say it ain't legal. It don't have nothing to do with legal. What is your issue, sir? Would you ever say that about your daughter? Think about it. What standard do you hold that person to? And let's be clear. I don't know why we even, and I didn't elect this man, but why are we even electing felons? Didn't they say they were chasing all the felons out of the country, south of the border?
Like he's supposed to be out.
So you don't want felons to be in our country, but you gonna elect one? Make it make sense.
Okay, let's he said,
I'm gonna
I
grab
agree, I
something.
am with you. Morally he is wrong, but you can't indict the person for thoughts and speech. That's not how something works in the court of law.
It
Yeah,
absolutely
we
does.
get you. We understand it. We
No, no,
know
no.
the
Let's
game
be
is
clear.
rigged. The
I
game is
can't
rigged.
I can't
Okay.
indict you about what you say. That's why legally the police have to say to you, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. So absolutely
Mhm.
what you say matters. It does. That's why they have to inform you. And if you can't afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you. Because what you say out of your mouth actually does fucking matter. You can't run around the earth and say whatever the hell you want and not have consequences. Unless you're Donald Trump. Because he's the only felon president I ever heard of. Y'all ever heard of any? Yeah. Who was that talking about black women yapping?
And they
Y'all
try to
just
use
met.
the grandma. They try to use why y'all if y'all go, stand on your square, put your real picture up here.
Yeah, put your real picture up here. Come talk to me
Yeah.
one on one. Yeah, come have this real battle. Talk to this real woman. You can only indict me for what I say if it proves a crime. Yeah, you're right. if we all agree PDFs are bad, and I hope we all do, what about those who financially benefited from Epstein's PDF activities? We all gonna ignore that because it's your precious Democrats. I don't. Okay, take that down real quick. Let me gather Mr. Lone Wolf. I'm a whole ass social worker, so I've been working against PDF files. I've worked in sex crimes and people who've been sexually assaulted my whole entire career. So you're not talking to some dumb Democrat, whatever you want to call it. You're not. You're talking to a scholar. Okay. You're talking to a person who has 3 college degrees, who is now a psychotherapist. So you're not talking to someone who doesn't know what she's talking about, who doesn't understand the concept of law, who doesn't understand free speech or the political parties that we are part of. You're not talking to that girl. So if you really want to have an actual conversation, you can hit the link and we can have an intelligent conversation. But I'm an intellectual, not somebody who gets swayed by my emotions or by how I feel about something, right? I can talk about something because I know what I'm talking about. But anywho, carry on.
Yeah.
But
These
you
people are on 10 tonight.
know what? Feel free. Listen, I love it. Bring it on. You got your weave on. I do. I do. Do you have yours on? Are you a girl or a boy? Or both? Like, don't do that. Do you have a wiener? Is it this
Yeah.
big? Talking about my weave. That, just so you know, things like that don't offend me because I look good.
Exactly.
It
They
doesn't.
just mad.
It
They
doesn't
mad you
offend.
look good. Let's be honest. Most of these men don't care what you wear, what you have on, as long as you look good, right?
He probably mad that he probably was his girlfriend found him in her wig, so he probably mad that she called him. Now let's talk about it. That
Mm.
was me being petty, but I'll be nice. Just play nice. I'll be nice. You just gotta play nice with me. You know what I mean? But anywho, no, I mean, to be honest, I wish that, sexual assault wasn't a social problem. I wish that
Mm.
people that were sexually assaulting girls or women or whoever or boys, I wish that I could say confidently and correctly that it's not people they know. It's not people in their family. It's not people in their neighborhood. It's not people at their church. But I would be wrong. I wish it was the creepy man up the street or the transient, worker. It's just not those people. It's the people that you know. So if you can argue with me for days about the Epstein files and Trump and whatever else, but what you should do is you should know this: 1 in 4 women will be sexually assaulted in her lifetime. So next time you roll up in Chick-fil-A, count the women that's there. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least one of them has been sexually assaulted.
That's a fact.
When you walking around Walmart or Target doing shopping or in the mall, 1, 2, 3, 4. One of those women has been sexually assaulted. If you really want to have that conversation, you know what I mean, about what's right and what's moral and what's wrong, when you go to your next family function, count the women in your family. 1, 2, 3, 4. You probably living with a woman that's been sexually assaulted,
Yes.
and you may have been too. And so you're right. People get triggered. People get, people definitely have trauma. We all have trauma. How do I know this for a fact? Because we all get triggered, unless you're a sociopath. Then you don't give a shit. So you don't have an empathy meter. But unless you're a sociopath, then you get triggered by something. Maybe it's not
Mhm.
sexual assault. Maybe it's that you were bullied because you had a big forehead and, you weren't cute, or you were, never got a date in high school. Maybe you're a 40-year-old virgin. Maybe that's what your trauma is. Maybe your wife left you or you caught her with Bill up the
Oh,
street.
shit.
I don't know. But we all have trauma. Just deal with yours. I deal with mine. I'm healed, honey. Okay.
I deal with mine too, step by step.
Yeah, day by day. Steven, when you come back, would you get me a napkin? Or can you hand me one right there? Thank you. I'm listening. Go ahead. There you
Okay, so I want to jump to how are young women affected,
go. Okay.
and are we being desensitized? Because I know these files are out, and I don't really see much action towards them. Like, these people don't have list of names that they want to nail to the wall. Like, what are we doing about it? And this, are we being desensitized because they keep bringing it up, but there's no action?
I
Are they
definitely
trying to
think
say that it's okay?
I don't necessarily think it's okay. I don't think that's what anyone's plan is. But
Mm.
I certainly do think, even without the Epstein files, people for many years are constantly wanting to minimize the impact And that's actually happening. You know how I always say 1 in 4 women, whatever. I constantly say that because that number is probably low. That's of the women that actually, confessed or, reported it or whatever. Um, but the desensitization, us being desensitized by it, I definitely think there's an element to that. If you show people, if you grow up in a violent home and you see violence a lot, then violence won't surprise you, won't shock you, won't startle you, whatever. So I definitely think there's a level to that, you know what I mean? But I also think there's a level of denial, and that's worldwide. I'm not just talking about in the US. It's a level of denial. If you tell people, no, it's probably the brother or the dad or the uncle or the, you know what I mean, the cousin, whatever it is, they won't believe that. And they'll let that person stay around in the family. They won't say anything, they still inviting him to Thanksgiving dinner, type of thing. They're not gonna call the police, and then they're gonna victim shame. So we live in a society that lives in denial, first of all, and they don't want to believe that these types of things happen, and that women sometimes, not all times, and victims, I'll say victims because it happens to men and women, they will then go tell someone, and then those people don't believe them, or they don't do anything about it, so they feel powerful. You know what I mean? But with regard to the files, I think that hold on 1 second. Ugh, I had to move my leg down. I think with regard to the files, I think they would like to familiarize us with, oh, either we're not going to, it's not that big of a deal just because you're in this file. That doesn't make you guilty. I think they want to familiarize us with that and get the public used to, oh, well, these people's names are just there. That doesn't mean they did anything, which is true, but it doesn't mean they didn't do anything either. So let's be clear,
Exactly.
you know. I think the fact that nobody's been prosecuted, how do you drop 3 million files and you ain't charged nobody?
That's the thing.
It's
That's
so
the
many
thing that
documents.
that has everybody in an uproar right there. You got all this evidence. How much more evidence do you need? Like, oh
I
my God,
think
they make me want to go be a lawyer. Do I need to go dig through the files, put
uh,
names, dates? Like what's really
that's not
good?
what
What's going
it is.
on?
It's not what it is. And you'll probably hear something like, "There's so much money and power, manpower, and going into to stuff." And let me be bluntly clear about how sexual assault happens typically, right? Not in every case, but it typically happens under the cover of dark. It typically happens in an isolated situation, meaning there's not lots of people around, right? And it's typically your word against that person and vice versa. And since you can't really provide proof, right? Unless you got it on videotape, unless you got him saying, "Yeah, I did," like admitting to it or something like that. How do you prosecute someone? Because all he has to say is it was consensual. Now, if she's underage, that's a different ball game, right? But again, how do you prove it? Hold on.
Nikki, here's your reminder. Get my macaroni.
Oh, why is it telling me my macaroni? Alexa, stop. Girl, what do you mean? But anyway, um, so you're fighting that battle of excuse me, of a child's word against a grown man, and you're fighting against society's. Well, what was she doing? Why was she dressed like that? Why was she in that man's lap? You know what I mean? So you're fighting against all of this stuff, and then you're fighting against the people that are going to victim shame. So the reason, in my opinion, that these people aren't going to prosecute these people, because do you know, this is what they're going to say, how much evidence we have to collect to try to prove that these people did it, to have to prove that they actually didn't just send an email, they actually went to Epstein Island. That's a lot of manpower and a lot of work that they don't want to do. So they're not. They're just going to say, this is how I feel. I feel like, let's just give it to the public and let's see what they say. We're not going to prosecute nobody. If the public thinks that we should prosecute somebody, then we'll prosecute somebody. If there's enough evidence. But this is how I feel. Remember when we was at the very beginning of everybody being so outraged by whatever was going on with Diddy and Cassie?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, oh, he must have been guilty because, he immediately paid her off and all that kind of stuff. But then it became, did he hate? No, did he? We realized, we saw the video, and so we realized, damn, this man is a monster, or whatever the case may be. So then people kind of got on board with it, right? And they were going to prosecute. Remember, everybody kept saying, the government, the FBI, whoever, they never lose. They only lose but this small margin. There's no way, blah, 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 right? I was just so weirded out by the fact that by the time they got to the trial, all the witnesses suddenly were, I liked this, including 7 month, 8 month Cassie, right? I liked it. I was there. I wanted to be there. Da, 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 da. It's just like, what the hell happened? I thought you had this man indicted for trafficking and what was the other thing? RICO and all this stuff.
Yeah.
How does that suddenly change? It seemed like in the what do you call it? The people that whatever. Suddenly they start firing people, not firing. They started stepping down out of their positions. When I saw that shit happen, I was like, wait a minute. So in my opinion, I'm like, something else is going on. And then he did get convicted of the major things that they said he did. If you have all this evidence that this person did these things, why all of a sudden y'all took that off? We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna pick that. And then how does the jury not really care? They just only gonna convict him on prostitution. That's the same fucking thing. You know, that's what they convicted Epstein on. So you have witnesses, or you have these victims saying, this man raped me, this man did this, this, and this to me, but you charge him with soliciting prostitution? The fuck?
Yeah, that's
How do
wild.
you say you're soliciting prostitution from a person who says that you violated them? How is that the charge? These women are not prostitutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not prostitutes. They are people who were victimized by Jeffrey Epstein. So to answer your question of why they empty all these 6 million files or whatever it is to the public, is because I think they want the public to see that it's not that big of a deal. One, two, they know the general public ain't gonna read all of that. They're gonna do what YouTubers do. We'll pick out the big names, the Jay-Z's of the world, the people that we could actually
No,
pick out.
there's some people who will sit down and do their research.
Some people, but you
Yeah.
got to remember, these, not everybody. First of all,
And you got AI at your beckoning call. So what's the excuse is what I'm saying.
well, what I'm saying is news is no longer, sometimes it's not very vetted. So you could put yourself, so for example, you could wear on Fox News, right? The name is news in the name, but you could have that Tyler guy over there, and he has an American eagle and an American flag behind his desk, and he's a fucking commentator. This man isn't a journalist. He doesn't have some sort of journalistic integrity. But because he's on cable news, on Fox News or whatever, CNN, whatever, but they typically have journalists. But I'm saying all you have to do is have the look. You have the nice wig, the pretty face, the, you know what I'm saying, the likability, and they can get on there and say anything. So my point is, the people that are going to take the time to do the due diligence, that takes time, right? Fact checking and all that kind of stuff, that takes time. It takes money. It takes willpower and all that kind of stuff to do it. And if you just dump it on the American people, they're not going to do it. They want someone to give them the cliff notes. They want someone to give them the highlights, you know, and then they can just say, do I believe this or not? You know, so they're just, in my opinion, I think they're just hoping that we pick out the names that they haven't redacted, and we throw those against the wall. But they're not going to prosecute anybody because they have all the information, and they didn't indict nobody yet, right?
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
And don't they normally, doesn't law enforcement typically keep shit like this close to the vest? You just gonna dump it on the American people?
But they're trying to come after Bill Clinton though.
Well, he's an easy target.
Yeah.
And I believe Bill is guilty. Bill, you guilty, but allegedly. But I think he's an easy target. You've been in a sex scandal since the 90s. You're an easy target. I think it's a whole bunch of Hollywood people out there that's a part of that shit. I think sex tourism is real. I know it's real. I did research on it. So what I think is not necessarily stomachable for a lot of American people is that trafficking and all that type of stuff is happening right here in the United States. It's easy to say, oh, that's what they're doing over there in Korea, or oh, that's what they're doing in Philippines. Or
no, it's happening here, right here in the US.
Right.
Even
And
with these college
are,
girls that go away to college and they be living on the dorm, they too are susceptible to this. It's everybody.
But because it's not in your face, it's not at your door, people don't care. People do not care about AIDS until their sister dying of it. Nobody gives a shit about breast cancer or brain cancer until their brother, or you know what I'm saying, somebody close to them is affected. That's when people get, rallied up and they want to do it. Da, 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 da. And they'll get happy. They'll get, energized for a while. Remember when they had that shooting at that whatever that really affluent school was? I forget exactly where it was. It was a few years back, and the world was watching, and they were like, "Yes, we're going to go out here and do." They still didn't change the gun laws, and they're not going to. It's just a fact. But you get these people galvanized about it, and it'll be.
Yeah.
But listen, Beyonce go on tour. No one's gonna care about Jay-Z being in the Epstein Files, at least for a while. But I do think Jay-Z going down, y'all. I just don't know when.
I hope he does. Okay, so I wanted to know, like, if this happened to a woman, how would that affect her? Growing up in her later years, how would that affect her self-esteem, the way she viewed the world, the way she may view herself, the way she may view relationships?
I
Because,
think it depends on the woman.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? It also depends on your support system.
mm-hmm,
It depends on if you can still say, I'm valuable and I'm worthy to be loved the right way. And again, if you have someone supporting you. But if the situation is one of such where, like I was explaining earlier, where the pedophile is still in the family, you know what I'm saying? Like they still coming
mm-hmm,
around and all that. And maybe the people in the family didn't believe her or want to persecute her or, victimize her or whatever. I think that can be very difficult. But I do think if you're able to find your voice, if you're able to get support from people that are loving and trusting and kind and all that, then I certainly, and especially if you get you some therapy, okay, I certainly think you can certainly overcome, because millions of women have overcome. That doesn't mean just because you're not sitting crying every day and, in some deep, dark depression, that you're not still impacted. You know what I mean? The moment you watch some TV show or some movie, because usually they only kind of do that in like a rated R movie,
mm-hmm.
where you see something like that happen, you're like jarred, you're like, whoa, you know what I mean? So something like that, you'll get triggered over the years. But this is what I'll say, that my message of hope is that many women, millions of women have overcome, had children, found love, were able to still pursue, high powered jobs or have a very fulfilling life, get married, whatever. You can certainly still, overcome, but that doesn't mean that you don't need help. That doesn't mean you don't need somebody to come hug you and tell you got this. You know what I mean? But trauma, I always tell people everybody has a trauma center in their own head, wherever it is. And you poke it down there, you put it down there, you may revisit it, but there is hope. You can certainly, I always tell people there's what is it called? 811? Is it 811? Hold on. I have to find that out. Is it 811? 6, 4, 5, let's see. Because you can always call this number if you're, having trouble. 988. That's the number. You can always text or call 988 24/7 365, and there'll be someone there to help you if you're struggling with some sort of trauma like that. Any trauma. If you're having ideations of, I don't want to say that word, but SI, or HI, if you're having those type of ideations, if you're struggling right now, if you're listening to this, you listen to this later, you can always dial that number and somebody will either call you if you want to call, text you, whatever. You can report it, especially if you're underage, but you can definitely report it if you're older. The only thing is, and I can't wait till we can stomp out statutes of limitation for people who've been S8. Because
Yeah.
why would you say, what a lawyer actually said to me?
Why?
I was on a live. Shout out to Make It Make Sense, love him. So this was during the first round of all the stuff that was going on with Diddy. But there was an attorney on there and he was talking about SA and all that. And I was like, can you help me understand legally? How come there's a statute of limitation for someone who's been SA? You don't get to overcome and move on. It's a violation. It kills a part of your soul, but you're still alive. You know what I mean? You still have to walk and talk and do everything, right?
Yeah, because there's women who still have nightmares about that.
Right.
People who don't even want to go out at night. It's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. People wake up like in the middle of the night and the husband's got to deal with it. So a lot of things,
Or
it doesn't just happen overnight. Like people are struggling with that stuff like that.
right.
And like you said, some people get triggered when they watch movies
Mhm.
or when they see certain things, they get triggered.
Or if you just listen, come on down to this good YouTube, listen to people talk about, oh, she was dressed a certain way, or you know what I'm saying. I had a guy said the other day to me on a live, oh, your vagina is this and this because somebody, you're not even grapeable. Somebody was trying to, whatever to you. And I'm like, you talking about what someone did to me when I was 5? You know what I mean? And he didn't care. I happen to not care about this idiot, right? And that shit doesn't bother me because I'm a whole grown professional.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted to use it against me. So it doesn't even have to be someone using it against you or me or whatever the case may be. It could be you being triggered because you in the chat, you've been violated, and this idiot is on here saying, no, she probably lied about it. She wanted some money. You know, all the dumb shit that they say about, whatever happens. But when you put it in their mindset of this happened to a child, then they suddenly have to stand up straight. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, she did that to a child. Now people care. But
Mm-hmm.
if she was violated and she was 19, she must have been a hoe. You know what I'm saying? So
That's that
anyway.
shit I don't like because some of these guys don't be thinking in their head. Because I remember I was talking to this guy and he had a daughter
Mm-hmm.
that was 15, right? So he had a daughter that was 15, and I met his daughter, and his daughter was like, "Oh, my mom is the same age as you." And at the time, I was 30, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "What? What you mean your mom is the same age as me?"
So they had her when she was like
That
15.
made no sense to me. I was over here like, I was scratching my head for
How
like.
old was he though?
So he was like 36.
Oh, okay. So he was older than her.
Yeah. So I went in and I
Mm-hmm.
did the math and everything, and I was like, he was like 21,
Mm-hmm.
messing with
Having
a
sex with a
14-year
15-year-old.
old.
Yep,
And
exactly.
you know what he was saying? He was saying that, oh, I didn't want to talk to her because she wasn't like this, or she wasn't listening to me, and she didn't want to do this. And I'm standing here, how you gonna get mad at a child? A child at that
Why are you interested in what a 14-year-old has to say? You a grown ass man, dog. What you doing?
21, and I'm like, he still be talking about it. I was like, you, if you don't stop talking about your child's mother like that, that shit will piss me the fuck off. I don't like that. I don't like when men talk about their child's mother and they call them baby mamas, and I don't like stuff like that because that's your child, that that's the mother of your child. She birthed your child. Whether you like it or not, you better respect her.
Yeah, they don't have any respect for her. You just, I don't understand how even if you don't like that person, how you could be so disrespectful of the person that gave your child life is beyond me. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like
And then
the
they
only
want
way
them to
I can,
struggle. And that's the thing too. They want them to struggle. I don't understand that too. Your child is being affected. Do
yeah,
you
they
know
don't
that
care.
your child has to live with that mom
They
who
don't
you're
care.
making emotionally stressful, and your child has to live with that?
They don't care. They don't even care about their own child. So I gotta go get me some more macaroni and cheese, honey. But no, they don't even they don't even care. I will never understand like those dudes that literally know they have a baby coming. The girl tells them, and then they out. So you got a whole baby somewhere walking around, another human you don't give a shit about. How? I could never live with myself if I had a baby, even if I had a baby and gave the baby away because I wasn't able, you know what I'm saying?
No, that
I
shit
would
will hurt me to
always
the
be
core.
thinking,
That would hurt me, and I would worry every night,
mhm.
and I would ponder, and I would just,
I would
yeah.
wonder, what is she doing? What is he like? What type of personality? What do they look like? Did they go to like? I would be wondering all these things, and I would want to be a part of that growth. But men have this opportunity, and they take it sometimes, and it's like, what? I don't want to give it like I don't want to say I understand it. Sometimes I do understand when you're young, you make stupid. I won't say mistakes, but decisions. You're having
Mhm.
unprotected sex, whatever, and you're not ready. I don't like it when men try to pressure the woman to not have the baby. I think that's such you're a sellout, whatever. I do understand that maybe you're not ready or whatever, but you better get ready. And I don't understand how you can know someone's growing your child somewhere and you just don't give a damn. How you don't fucking give a damn, I will never understand. But that's why they say men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We're just different human beings. And we don't mean all men. I'm not talking about all men. I'm not talking about the men that take care
We're
of your
not
kids
talking about all men. We be talking about select individuals.
that are
I want to
idiots.
get that because I don't want people to be like, "Oh, we're not bashing men over here on this channel. We don't do that."
We don't bash people.
No, that's not our objective.
Don't y'all think Miss Creative Solutions looks so cute? I
And
love her curly hair. I
that
love
looks
her
cute
outfit.
too.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I'm definitely gonna go wash this makeup off because I can't. But I love your black and white. It's your thing. I'm telling you, wear black and white stripes. It's your thing. Mhm.
Okay.
And your hair is so cute. It's up. I love it. It's very, very cute. Yeah. Ooh, it's
Yeah.
almost 9:30. Okay. I got about a few more minutes.
She said, do you want to talk about the Jay-Z,
We can. Oh yeah. The Epstein thing with Jay-Z. Yeah, let's talk about what's the guy's name?
Vlad
Yeah,
TV?
Vlad. Yeah, let's talk about DJ Vlad. Or he's first of all, I can't stand him. Are you burning something? It smells like something is burning. Were you cooking something like in the oven? A pizza? Oh, what kind of pizza did you make? Yummy. You about to go to bed once you eat? You going to sleep once you eat? I'll be in there soon. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, create.
Oh no, you're fine. So DJ Vlad, right?
Mm-hmm.
DJ Vlad, I don't know if he's doing this for, talking points, attention, want to stir
Mm-hmm.
the pot, but this is what he said. And he said this, you said he said this on Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm. This
Basically, what
week.
he said is, I have a confession. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory, and they bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for the grandson's new album, and they paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. She was never shot. It's just like, what the hell? And then they go and they say the LA police are all on Jay's payroll and it doesn't stop with LA. But you're not ready to hear that part. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer to that. And then he said the three support the Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal, all paid off by Mafia. Jay-Z also paid Trump not to pardon Tory, even though it's a state case, and Trump can only pardon federal cases. But knowing Trump liked to bend rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. And he said, I can't keep these lies secret anymore. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me. What do you think, Chanel?
A mess. A whole ass mess.
Do you think that's true?
I think it could be true.
It could be, but I don't think it's true.
I think it could be true. I don't know why you would go on one of the major platforms and you have a name. Vlad TV has a name behind him. He's interviewed a lot of major people.
He is not credible. Let's just put that there.
I
Because
agree. I don't like this man. Let me be very clear. I'm not a fan in any capacity. I'm saying he has a platform that's big that people watch and listen to. And when you go and you already have a platform of people that watch you and you put it on another platform that everybody watches, most everybody's on Twitter in some capacity. It doesn't mean that they're on it every day or anything like that, but they're aware. You know what I mean? It's going to go viral. And that's exactly what happened. So why would you go out there and say, I have a confession, Jay-Z paid me, blah, blah, blah. Why would you do that? Because let's be clear. We all believe Jay-Z pays people for shit. What did Kanye say? That was his boy. Jay-Z, please don't tell your killers to come in my head. I know you got killers. That's what he said. That's what Kanye. Now Kanye is also crazy. So let's be clear. But in the midst of some of the crazy, I think there's a little bit of truth to what he's saying. What did he say? They can't control me. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce. They can control Shaq. They can control, like, he started naming off people. So at the end of the day, your friend supposedly came out and said that I know you got killers. I know that you do things. You get people to do shit. So the fact that, like I said earlier, if you pull at his Mr. Carter's string, 10 bodies gonna fall out. Meaning things that people will say he's done and gotten away with and climbed the ladder of power. And so as a result, when you go online and you put on this big ass platform called Twitter and say that this man has paid you, paid off judges, paid off, whatever, the LA PD, whatever, all of these things are plausible. That don't mean that they have happened or, it's credible, but they could happen because you're a billionaire and you're connected. You have a lot of power. So all of these things could be possibly true. I don't think he paid off like Supreme Court justices or nothing like that. I don't think he has to. I think he has enough power and influence to say, talk to the right people and get things that he wants to get done. I don't know if I'm believing Rock Nation set up Tory Lanez, but
I don't think so.
But I will say this. I do find it weird that initially the report was like Megan got shot in the foot, that she got shot. Now, how do you get shot and then in the foot, or you have fragments of bullets in your foot, whatever? If you got shot, how do you go the next week or next few nights in heels and do a show? You know anybody that could do that?
Didn't they take her to the hospital right away, or?
They did. But if you get shot in your foot, can you put on a heel and twirl around and dance on the stage?
I don't know.
I don't think you're going to get shot in the foot and go put on heels.
So
you probably going to have one of those leg thingies that they put around your leg, like the boot.
Yeah.
You're going to want to be able to walk properly later. In order to do that, you got to have proper medical treatment. And proper medical treatment, even if you fall off the ladder.
I think he did shoot but I don't know if she got shot in the foot, but he admitted it.
That's what I'm saying. I believe that something happened.
Yeah.
I don't believe that man shot her in her foot. And again, I don't know nothing. I don't know none of these people. I wasn't there. But I'm saying based on the information that's out there, I don't believe you got a direct shot in your foot and then put on heels and went dance the next 2 nights. I don't believe that. So if that doesn't make sense, there's a lie somewhere. And so to me, the lie is he probably had a gun and was shooting. But I think it said something about he dropped the gun and it went off or whatever, or something like that.
Yeah, something
I don't know if any of that's true. It's possible he was shooting at her. And I certainly don't think if you shot at someone, missed them, and meaning you were shooting at the ground, so you wasn't like shooting at their chest or their head. You know what I mean? Not like with the intent to kill. I think that how are you in jail? How are you in prison? It's people like Jay-Z who's actually stabbed somebody, admitted to it.
Hold on, they said that she had lied, she had dropped it. She did, but he started to go on podcasts and bragging about it.
Oh,
so what do you do if somebody consistently bragging after you let something go? What happens?
That's a good question.
You
now I gotta go into my bag and say, yep, you did whatever.
Yeah.
I hope he learned his lesson, but I don't know. Do you know how many years he got, or if he got years?
He's supposed to get 10 years.
Oh, see, that's another thing that I don't understand. So you giving this man 10 years in a prison for shooting at someone's foot and not even actually shooting them in the foot?
It depends on what state he shot, because in New York, for every bullet you have in the chamber, they could give you a life sentence for that.
Again, I'm not saying he doesn't.
And then for holding a gun illegally, that's a sentence also.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the punishment don't match the crime.
It doesn't. But like that's how. Like I remember they said like back in the day, if you got caught with a weed seed and you was out in different states and like Georgia and Virginia, you would go down for some years.
That kind of stuff. That's to me those type of people who want to put people in prison because they want to control the population of people and what they are able to do. So they create laws to do that. But I'm just saying in this particular case, it don't match. It doesn't make
punishment don't match the crime. I think And
And
I
I have
also
no
think he
story
had a
like,
long rap sheet too.
okay, so maybe he deserved to be there. Maybe it was too many times you've done this, done
Hmm.
something like this. I just think political kabuki when I see it. I know what it is.
Yeah. But what was the plea deal? Did he get a plea deal?
I don't know. I don't know nothing about the case other than what that guy was saying last night.
Because some people get plea deals and they don't want to take the plea deals, and that's when they slap you with the
Let's be
sentence.
clear. Every court, no lawyer wants to go to trial. Not
Exactly.
any of them. So they're all going to come in. There's a whole system around plea deals.
Hmm.
They want to scare you into this plea deal because they're going to tell you, yeah, if you roll the dice with the jury, you might get, 70 years or you might get life. And you might not get any years. The
Hmm.
jury sometimes doesn't work out. You could have the case
Facts.
of you like they definitely going to prison. They don't go to prison. So you never know, but that's what they're always going to do. Unless they're trying to make an example. If they want to make an example, then they're not going to give you a deal.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
not admitting to shit that I ain't do.
that was a sad case. I mean, but you know what? A lot of people could learn from this case, though.
What was sad about it? The fact that he got all that time?
Because it was messy. It was messy and it could have been avoided. All of it could have been avoided.
I didn't understand how they got to the police.
It's because it was a whole bunch of jealousy going on, and he was trying to mess with this girl, but he already slept with Megan. There's a whole bunch of messiness going on.
Well, I guess you call the police when someone pulls out a gun. So maybe that's how the police got involved.
Well, she got shot, and if she was to go to the ambulance, they're gonna ask her how she got shot.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree
So
with that.
yeah,
But again, in a celebrity world, when you got money and power, the police don't have to get called, child. I do know what you mean by medical attention. They do have to ask what happened. But if you can lie, you can lie. And I'm sure they have different types of places you can go if you really need to get some shit cleaned up in a down low way. You think if Beyonce gets shot in the foot, she can't get a certain doctor to just saying. We ain't gonna hear about it. You think we gonna hear about it?
no, I
No.
don't think so.
So
I
you get
think
heard about it.
we not supposed to hear about petty stuff like that. It was too petty, right?
Mm-hmm.
That could have been handled indoors, and I think it was. It was at one point, but these guys be bragging and
So what
talking
did
shit
he
on the
say?
internet.
What did he say that would made you think like he was bragging about it, or he went online and was like, "Yeah, I shot her" or something? Like I don't know.
Yeah, he went online on multiple podcasts, talking shit about her.
Oh, I think I remember something like that where he was saying negative things about her,
Hmm.
maybe about her appearance. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you're not leaving well enough alone. And so now I'm gonna really. So that's why he went. That's because at first I'm like, why do you call the police? Why do you even want this whole messy situation?
Yeah.
If you're not truly injured, you know what I'm saying? If you got some sort of fragments, I do understand that's still an injury, but I'm saying not like debilitating where you have to take off work and you're not gonna be able to, you know what I'm saying, tour or whatever. So it didn't make sense, but now it makes sense because you on here talking all that hot shit. Now you in prison. I would be talking hot shit now. I'd be like, hey boo, hey, how you doing?
I mean,
Fuck
I
you.
would I would just let that go and squash it.
No, you're
And
absolutely right. I would do the same. I'm just talking shit.
yeah. But now they investigated, and you know how the police could dig up everything.
Mm-hmm.
So lie if you want to lie. And if you lie, that's when they hit you with all of those years.
Right, but I'm not lying. You know why? I'm calling my attorney.
I know that. I know you gonna call your attorney.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, even though you lied and you have an attorney and they have the evidence right there, what the judge is gonna do? If you
How are they
lying
going to
about that,
say?
then you lying about everything.
How are
So
they going to say you're lying? Your attorney is not going to allow you to be questioned. So you ain't lying about nothing.
I'm talking about when they present their case to the judge.
How do they get the information?
It's public.
You have an allegation. Somebody said that you had a
Yeah, but they
blah
pull
blah blah.
phone records. They pull the records.
The phone workers to say what?
That's what happened. They pulled the phone records, and he admitted and said that he shot her. That's what happened.
Oh, okay. Well, if they have evidence of him saying that, then yeah, he got how you get your way out of that.
And
Your
that's my
lawyer
thing.
tried to
If you
defend
got,
it.
if the evidence is against you, take the plea deal. Why the fuck you gonna fight? Like, you look stupid, you know?
I I can't necessarily say it's a stupid thing to not take a plea because I know that that's a method that attorneys use. Because like I told you before, they don't want to go to they don't want
So, so
to
my
trial.
cousin, yeah, so my cousin did what, like 10 to 14 years to life.
Mm-hmm.
He just got out not too long ago, like a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And before they gave him a plea deal of a year and a half for 2 years. Basically, he went into a store and he got held up for armed robbery. He went in
Mm-hmm.
the store and he pulled up a gun and he held up a store, and
So
nobody got
I
hurt or anything.
I
But
I wholeheartedly think your cousin should have took that deal.
exactly, but they
But
had him on camera.
a year and a half anybody could do for the most part. If they are offering you 6 years
That's
and you
still a
don't
good
think
deal.
no, but I'm saying, and you don't think that they have a good enough case, meaning your attorney is advising you that you could beat
Mhm.
this or whatever the case may be, or your celebrity will help you get out of this, whatever, right? It could come out differently. The reason I'm against just taking whatever plea deal is because that's what they're gonna do no matter what. They can have all the evidence in the world, and 9 times out of 10, they're still gonna offer you a plea deal because then they don't have to go through all of the preparing for trial and
Yeah.
all of that. So they'll say, "We got you on tape, like how you said. We got your phone workers, like how you said. We got this witness that said da 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 da. Whatever it is. We got, you said you were in this area. Your cell phone is binging off of this tower, whatever, right? You left work early that day." So they got all the substantial evidence or circumstantial evidence, but they telling you you'll get life, which I don't know what life is in terms of numbers in each state and how it's like.
Life is like 20 to 25 years. A life
Right,
sentence is 25 years.
right. So they'll tell you something like, we'll probably put you away. We got enough evidence to put you away for 50 years. But we'll give you this 25 years. Who wants to say in their mind, yeah, I'm going to jail for 25 years. Let's do it. Nobody. That's a long fucking time. And it's one thing to be in a women's prison. I think it's a whole nother ball game to be in there with men because they don't give a fuck. And some women prisons are just as dangerous. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But now you Tory Lanez, you that guy. You got the money, you got the this, that, and the third, and you in here with these hard heads. We really about to find out who you really are.
Oh yeah, he already got stabbed by a Mexican guy.
That's what was on What's a Cow's list.
Mm,
You trying to unalive this man? How you get shanked like that in prison? You the guy. You got money. You can put money on people's books to keep you safe.
that's true.
What are we doing? So then it does feel malicious. And again, how does this guy, what's his name? Vlad TV. How do you then go on there and say, yeah, who you think paid for that? Because it does sound like a hit.
That does. That yeah. His conspiracies, I think he need to shut his mouth before people wheel him in.
Mhm. I agree. I think he's obnoxious. I don't trust anything he says. He's not, like you said, he's not credible to me. He just because you interview and you're in the circles, they don't listen. They don't make you much more trustworthy to me. That means a lot of times, out of 9 times, you probably paid more. Meaning, you didn't sign a NDA,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't say shit anyway. So you'll say anything. But I did wonder about that. I was like, yo, because I'm like, Sloan Bella said they want Jay-Z found out. They want him. He has a target on his back, him and Beyonce. I believe that's true. You've done too many people dirty, Jay, to get to the top. And for what? Money and fame? Like, think about it. You even fell out, and don't get me wrong, because Dame Dash is a whole ass narcissist. Let's be very clear. But you even fell out with your bestie. You kicked him out of his own company, in my opinion, when you was at Def Jam, became president. You know what I'm saying?
What's
How
that other guy?
Dame Dash?
Did they call him Beans? The one who made State Property.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, he fell out with him too.
He fell out with all of the guys, like even people that were on his label that were supposed to be like these prophetic type rappers, whatever. Why are you putting out your CD right after they put out their CD? You trying to
Yeah.
crash them out like you are. You don't have to do that. You don't have to compete with your. I mean, DMX said it the best. He was like, you know what I'm saying? We had everything approved. We got the video. Da, 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 da. You know how DMX talk. And it's like now you don't know what the fuck you mean you don't know. You
Exactly.
wanna take out the competition. That's what these is.
Beyonce did the same thing too.
What you mean?
She what's that other girl? Latoya
Oh,
Lockett.
mhm.
She put out a CD and Beyonce pushed her date and put out a CD the same time she put out hers.
Yep.
These
Oh, hold on.
people are shiesty. Like,
Mhm. And you already at the top. Why you doing that?
can other people win? Chanel, can you win? Can I
Right?
let other people win? Like, let other people join you at your party. Like, you want to be the only person having the party,
They do. They
and they
have.
want everybody to come to their party. I think that's what it is.
I just don't even understand. Like sometimes I wonder, and it's no shade to Beyonce or people like her, but I do wonder. I'm like, so if you got half of the billion, that's $500 million. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna continue to make money off sales and off whatever. You could go on tour. I don't know why don't you go buy an island, make it all your own, so all of your whatever it is, your aspects, whatever, and go live with your kids and raise them. You got enough money, power, fame, whatever it is, influence. At some point, I'm not saying you got to sit down and never do what you love. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You've built momentum and whatever. I just don't understand why you still can't. Like, do like Adele. Adele be like, listen, bitch, I'm going to put out an album every 5 years. Then I'm going to go find myself. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
And
love
she going to get
Adele.
3 Grammys from her fucking album. Like, it's just a fact. She going to go do that. She ain't got to do all of that. And I'm saying they have two totally different careers. You know what I mean? Beyonce
Mm-hmm.
is more of a pop star type diva type scenario. But I think she has a great body of work. I think she has all kinds of accomplishments that she wants to, goals or whatever. And I really do admire that. I think that's great. You know what I'm saying? It's something for your children to look up to, but no matter what they do, they will never live up to whatever it is you're doing. It's like Barack Obama's kids. He was the fucking president and his wife was the first lady. What are you going to do in your career that's going to top that? Unless you become president too.
Yeah, but some
You
people. What about the people that are like that have to live in their limelight? Like, if your if your sister was Beyonce.
Oh, oh. You probably I would not be Solange because I'd be out here dipping it and doing it. Like, oh yes, bitch, I'm glamorous too. Because Solange isn't ugly. She's just the like grassroots version of Beyonce. Beyonce's glamour girl. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
She's all glammed up. Solange could be that, but Solange does not want to be asked about her sister.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
she doesn't because she's always gonna be compared. And that's what I was saying about like your kids. Your kids are never what are they gonna be able to live up to? Their dad is Jay-Z and their mom is Beyonce. The fuck? Like what are they ever gonna do in life that's gonna be good enough?
Yeah. It was like you seen that movie, The Bodyguard,
Mm-hmm.
and she put her head out on her sister, and because she was jealous.
I didn't know that. What part of the bodyguard? Is this a remake? Creative? Are you sure you wasn't drunk
Oh my God!
when you
Go
was
watch The
watching this?
Bodyguard.
I
The
don't want nobody
Bodyguard.
putting no hit out on
He
Whitney.
when the hitman came to the house, they went to another house. With the snow, and they went
Who said
away.
it was the sister?
The sister said it. He was telling her, call it off. And
Oh.
she's like, I don't know how to call it off.
Well, I probably was 11 when I watched it.
And then she was like, do you want to know why I did it? And he was like, you already told me. She has everything.
Hmm.
And she was
And listen, and Whitney Houston said she sang a whole song. I have nothing, nothing. Like I was in the kitchen, honey, with the broom singing Whitney's whole album. Couldn't tell me I wasn't Whitney, okay? But yeah, The Bodyguard came out when I was so young, so I don't remember that part. But I remember there being like people trying to get her. That's why he was the bodyguard. You know what I mean? So I have to go rewatch that too. But
go
now
rewatch it,
you
yeah.
got this damn song in my head. I don't really need to look anyone's right.
Much further.
I love Whitney. Powerhouse. Love her.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, she's one of the greats.
She is. When you want to feel like a woman or you want to be inspired, you can play Whitney Houston. It gives you that like 80s vibes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It gives
Yeah.
you that 80s vibes. It's like Nostalgic.
Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. I love me some Whitney. Even cracked out, smoking her kneecaps off. Whitney still was like, it's all right, but it's okay. I'm gonna make it easy. Like, I'm like, yes, bitch, you still empowering people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Cracked out and all. But it was tragic how she died. Because you know what's sick about how she died? And this is why I do believe some of the things about like the industry that I don't believe everything is a conspiracy. Because how did she die the night of the Grammys?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all still, how does Clive Davis, when she was your whole ass moneymaker, she made you who you are? You signed her, but she was a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
How you still have your party? She upstairs after you find out she dead. Who does that? You find out that the voice, the one and only Whitney Houston, is died upstairs or downstairs or wherever she was, and you still have a party?
Yeah, that's messed up.
And then
Then
her
the
daughter,
then the daughter passed away
in the
for the
same
same.
manner.
Yeah.
Right. When you start looking at stuff like that, it's like this shit doesn't make sense. I definitely think Bobby Brown was a scapegoat because I always felt like he was the reason she went down, whatever. But Whitney had her own demons. I feel like, a lot of people say she was bisexual
Yeah, they said she
and
was
stuff like
dating a
that.
woman.
And so she couldn't really fully be who she was because, again, she came out in the early 90s, as Whitney, and she's just, every woman, like she says. So you don't really want to attach that to you. Clive Davis is a whole bisexual too. Well, we all think he's gay now, but he says he's bisexual. Whatever. But you weren't allowed to be gay and be popular and be a, mega star. So she had to probably live her life differently. But I think that it's unfortunate. But when you think about, like, I start now thinking things when I start seeing these celebrities die, everybody dies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I look at DMX and I'm like, DMX made a song called The Industry. Listen, I'm like, oof. Well, makes you wonder. Again, Jay-Z, all channels lead back to Jay-Z. But it's like, this man died. How old was he when he died? Like in his 50s? Alexa, how old was DMX when he passed away?
DMX was 50 years old when he passed away.
He was
That's
5 years older
yeah.
than me.
Yeah.
So you start to think about stuff like that. It's like, where did he get that from? Now, he had his demons and he definitely was on drugs and stuff like that. I don't know if he was still on drugs, but I start to wonder, like, when you start connecting the people that he's connected to and the things that they've done, you start being like, did he really die that way? I don't know. It's a lot of people that knew Diddy and Jay that are no longer with us.
Fact.
So, but I'm gonna have to go because I'm not feeling good. I feel like I'm nauseous right now.
You nauseous? Well, you look pretty.
Thank you.
Um, they say he passed away from drugs. Yeah, we know.
They all supposedly passed away from drugs. Malcolm Jamal Warner wandered into a pond and died from drugs. Like, everybody passed away from drugs.
They always
I
say
think they say
spiritually.
drugs when they can't, when they want to cover some shit up. That's just my opinion.
They say spiritually they're bankrupt at age 50. So they become stars at young and then they depleted with money. And then they get mad because people they're known for being the star, but they ain't got the monies, you know?
A lot of people aren't millionaires, right? If you hear somebody like you say, yeah, he got a $2 million, album deal. That sounds like a lot of money, right? It's like, oh my God, that's so much money. But off top, the government is going to tax you at a higher rate. So your 2 million is probably like 1.5, maybe. I really got to go because I feel like I'm about to vomit.
You do?
Bye, you guys. Yeah,
What did you eat?
it's not that. It's like I feel like there's a lot. So it's something wrong with my stomach. I don't know what. But love you
Okay.
guys. I'm sorry, creative. I apologize, but
We love you, Chanel. I'm about to close out in like 10 minutes.
all right. Have a good one. Bye bye.
All right. So you guys, so this was our talk today about the Epstein Files. I just wanted to really touch on the victims and the young women that are affected. So first and foremost, if you have been affected by sexual assault or something happened to you in your younger years or you was violated, first and foremost, I want you to look at that situation and know that it was not your fault. Nothing you did, it was not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. And I also want these women to know that you still have a life outside of what happened to you. You can still move beyond. You're still powerful. You're still beautiful. You still have as much quality. There's nothing wrong with you. And don't allow people to tell you anything otherwise. And just just let that stuff go. You have to. If you don't heal for you, who you have to heal for you. You have to. Because at the end of the day, you have to live this life. You have to walk your walk and you have to engage with people. So for the women that out there that are affected, you know, stay strong. We're with you. You're still valuable. You're still beautiful. You are worth everything. You can have a loving relationship. You can have kids. There is nothing wrong with you. And as for the Epstein files, I really do hope these people get prosecuted. And I hope this brings awareness, with people in homes and people take your young daughters and kids and take women and how they feel and what they tell you for face value. Believe them, you know? And allow these women to be able to feel comfortable to tell you things, because if you're quick to judge or you're quick for reciprocity or you're quick to demean, a lot of people won't come to you and open up to you. So yeah, for these Epstein files, I really do hope these people get found out and something does happen. I just don't want it to be out in the public and there's no follow-up action. Like, something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. Laws need to be changed. Things need to happen so that stuff like this don't happen again, because it's affecting our youth. And when this affects our youth, we're like poisoning the society. We're allowing these broken women to come out into society, and they're not broken, but these women, some of these women, they will be like messed up internally, and they might not view the world from the same place that another person would view it who hasn't been messed around or anything. So yeah, don't let these people prey on our kids. you know even though they're celebrities, even though they may be known, do not allow them to do that. They're just regular people like me and you who get up every day, brush our teeth, and do everything. There's nothing special about them, and we should be able to persecute them as regular people too. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. For the people in the chat, I need you guys to be respectful, okay? If you're gonna be on this platform, be respectful or you will get blocked. And that's all I have to say to that. But thank you guys for tuning in. This is your girl, Creative Solutions, and Chanel had to go. If you like our live, I would stay on, but I'm not feeling like staying on. I got stuff I gotta do. Please like, subscribe. We will go live again. I haven't thought about the subject yet, but yes, we will go live again. So thank you guys for tuning in. Wish you guys the best.